I'd like to first thank the organizers for inviting me. This is my first time to this session, and so far I've been very impressed. In all cases you're going to hear today, everybody has a forward-looking statement, but I'm going to start with a backward-looking statement because I think it's important to understand where this company came from, and perhaps then we'll look forward where we're going. It was about 3 years ago that I got called to Vancouver Airport by Randall Oliphant, who is the chairman of New Gold, who said he'd like to buy my company. And I said, where do I sign? And that was a company called SilverQuest. And at the time we had discovered the Blackwater deposit, farmed out part of it to a company called Richfield. So in a matter of 2 hours, we shook on our hands, and at the end of the day, the whole deal had been signed, taken out between ourselves and Richfield for $750 million. Now this isn't bad for a $50,000 investment that we initially acquired the claims that became the Blackwater deposit. But if we back up 1 month before that, as a partner that we were now going to be involved with New Gold, I was sitting in their office when they were doing the budget. And the budget at the time was about $60 million, of which we were going to pay up 25%. So I'm mentally thinking we got $1 stock, and how am I going to pay for that? So when they gave me the call and said, come out to the airport, like I said, how fast do I sign? Well, the budget then went from 60 million to 120 million. And as we saw, the price of gold fell, the markets fell, and I wouldn't be here talking today, except maybe stand outside with a Starbucks cup. So timing's everything. So prior to this, though, we had been up in the Yukon as well. So when New Gold took us out and spun out Independence Gold, and they did become a 10% shareholder, we had been in the Yukon exploring after the discovery of the underworld deposit that was taken out by Kinross. So we had this some assets there in the Yukon, plus one project called the 3Ts. But New Gold only took out the Blackwater deposit. And today you'll see the Blackwater deposit basically is just under care and maintenance. So back up 5 years, and Underworld was taken out by Kinross just around March 5 years ago. And at the same time, a company called Kaminak had made quite a significant discovery in a project called the Coffee. So we had staked some claims, acquired some claims from a company called Kiska, which at the time was called Rimfire. So being a romantic person that I am, I took my wife up to the Yukon to show her what the Yukon was all about, the black flies, the northern lights, and diamond girdies in Dawson. And we heard about this major discovery that Kaminak had made. So I sent my wife in to buy the claim tags so that nobody knew it was us that were up staking, but probably the fact of the matter, she had more credit on her credit card than I did. Acquired 2,000 claims, and we went out and we started staking. And this was about the second largest staking rush that has happened in Canada for years. First being, of course, the big diamond play back in the 90s, which we were very much a part of. So there you can see the Yukon, the setting. So Independence Gold, after being taken out, SilverQuest by New Gold, we ended up with a major asset still in the Yukon. So of course, over the last couple of years, we've seen that the markets have drifted down. But when we started looking around, what we were going to do with the cash that we got out of the transaction was about $15 million. So how are we best going to employ this, and where are we going to go and pursue? Well, we focused back in not only the 3Ts project in BC, which I'll briefly speak at the end, but the Yukon. And why the Yukon? Well, the Yukon's got a rich history of gold. Of course, the men who moil for gold, they all came from up there. There's been a couple of major discoveries. We had a very significant land package, and we really feel it is one of the best jurisdictions in Canada to explore. The fact is that when you're dealing with First Nations up there, the treaties have been signed, you know exactly who you're dealing with and where you're going forward, and it's very pro-development. So in the end, we ended up staking about 880 claims, about 18,000 hectares. And as I said, they're strategically beside the Kaminak discovery. And the Kaminak has just raised another $20 million. They're in the PEA right now. And we've come up with two major zones. And these zones were really discovered this past summer which from drilling that we undertook. So when everybody else was sort of sitting back, kind of trying to figure out what they were going to do, we thought, well, we'd go up, do some reverse circ drilling, and we've made 2 new discoveries. And I think what we've seen right now is just the tip of the iceberg. One right beside the coffee deposit, and one a little to the northeast at the DENALI. So the results have come out to date. We were so encouraged by what we saw that we decided that we would go back in and do a further program. And that program was just recently completed. And with that, we will be doing we got results that will be coming here over the next month or so. So at this point, we do have our first intersection there. I hear a phone ringing. If that's a broker, tell them to buy some IGO. It's a good deal today. Anyway, we've got the sunset, the sunrise, and the DENALI zone. And what we're really, I think, seeing is this is just what we saw with the Caminac. Caminac started off with some coffee, double dip, whatever they had. They had a number of names for their fancy zones. We have just sunrise, sunset, and DENALI. So we've got a follow-up program, as I said. We've got more to come next year. So there's the project, and as you can see, a number of gold showings. This is just south of Dawson, and Caminac has already negotiated a deal to build a road from Dawson down to Caminac. And so, of course, we're going to be the benefiter of that down the road. Some geology here, and what you can do is you come to the booth, and I can elaborate a little more. But all I can tell you is that the colors, they're good. So you can see some of the drill results there. Yeah, so pretty maps, not accurate maps. But this is really, he's got the results there. You can see, and I believe it's in a brochure here. So and just give you an idea of the environment that we're pursuing up there. You can see it's above the tree line, basically, and that's where similar to the Caminac, similar to the underworld. The DENALI is a new zone, 13 kilometers to the northwest. It was found by trenching a couple of years ago. We went in and we pulled a couple of very nice holes, the best being 6 grams over 4.5 meters. We did no further follow-up in the last drill program, but we will be doing some for next year. Just a few more shots. And then finally, it's just sort of a summary here of the 3Ts project, which we retained when New Gold took us out. You can see the Blackwater deposit there. It's an epithermal gold vein system that was held by a number of majors. We put it all together. There is about 500,000 ounces of gold that have been outlined to date. It's a vein system. We've done some more drilling there in the last couple of years. We've had a number of interest from people poking in and around that area there. There's still a lot of potential at depth and along strike on a number of the veins. So it's still one of the key projects within the company. So I think one of the things here, as we just briefly review here, is really the corporate structure. As we've seen in the downturn in the market, when this company was taken out by New Gold, everybody got a free share. So this company has never been financed. So there's about 45 million shares out, fully diluted 46, 48. New Gold owns 10% of the company. The insiders hold another 15 to 20% of the company. And it's really trading with about 16 cents a share in cash. And why is it so beaten down? I think when the institutions held over 90% of the company, after it was taken out, they sold it out and they sold it to the retail. And of course, as the things have gone on. So if this is a rare buying opportunity today, it's certainly, you can see, we're one of the few juniors out there that has a very strong cash position and is trading below cash value with a couple of very substantial looking projects there in its portfolio. So with that, I think I will just leave it here. You see my time's almost up. Come by our booth. Kendra Johnson and myself will be standing there, and we'll welcome any questions on the technical aspects or any other aspects of the company. Thank you.